The cult of the tree hides in plain sight in Alan Wake 2, as evidenced by the locked boxes full of supplies that they leave for their members. Even the peaceful town of Bright Falls has several of these stashes. Finding and opening them is a great way to make sure that you're fully prepared when they take an attack. Most of the cult stashes in Bright Falls can't be accessed until fairly late in the game, so it's a good idea to return often and explore new areas as they become available. The rewards are well worth the effort. As soon as you arrive in Bright Falls for the first time, turn around and look for a white van that's parked in front of the lodge where Saga and Casey are staying. There's a large box on the driver's side. All you need to do to open this stash is copy the sequence that lights up on the lock. When you return to Bright Falls from Watery after completing Local Girl, you'll be able to explore the woods north of Bright Falls. Start by travelling along the northwest pass from the break room, and a stash there can be opened by copying the pattern on the lock. You can find another stash on the back of an abandoned truck near the edge of the lake, south of the break room near the nursing home, and the combination to this lock is a word problem. You need to figure out how many vehicles out of 200 are cars. We'll skip all the complicated mathematics you need to figure this one out, and I'll just tell you the combination, which is 177. But if you do want to know how to work this one out, then make sure to check out the guide as linked in the description, where Matt Arnold explains how to work this one out. After you've completed the overlap in this chapter, the flooding in the south of the forest will recede, and there's a few more stashes around that area. The first one can be found on a hill opposite the ranger's cabin at the southern edge of the bunker's woods. If you look closely, you'll see that it has an old black and white engraving as a clue, and you'll see that it depicts Santa Claus and his sleigh. Go across the trail to the ranger's cabin and look on the ground outside. The key to this stash is hidden in the grass next to the chimney on the left of the ranger station. Continuing along the trail to the east, there's a box in Bunker Woods that is almost always guarded by a group of Taken, so be careful as you approach this one. If you shine your flashlight at the tree above the box, you'll see an arrow. Follow these arrows, paying attention to the cult symbols painted on the rocks along the path. The third and final symbol is a wooden glyph hanging near a tree, so enter the symbols as shown on screen to unlock this stash. The last stash in the forest area is found southwest of the wellness centre, but be ready for a fight as there are powerful Taken in this area. Like the previous box, this one requires you to follow several arrows that appear under the flashlight, but ignore them, because they'll just take you around in a circle. Instead, look for discarded navigation signs on the ground that are painted blue. Follow these arrows instead. The last one requires you to walk straight for a while with no further navigation, but after cutting through some bushes and going down a hill, you'll find the last sign which points to a key. So with all the stashes in the forest out the way, let's head back to Bright Falls. After completing the chapter Old Gods, you can use the bolt cutters to access the docks in Bright Falls, between the hotel lodge and the Oh Dear Diner. Enter the wooden structure immediately to your right after crossing the fence to find a cult stash with a combination lock. The box has a drawing of wooden pylons sticking up from the water. If you head out onto the pier and look for similar pylons in the ocean nearby, you'll see that some have placards with numbers on them. The combination to open this stash is 697. The next stash can be found in an alley to the left of the Oh Dear Diner. You'll need to use the bolt cutters to open this gate, where you'll find an open plot of land between the sheriff's office and the funeral home. The cult stash here has a number of dates and objects around town listed. You'll need to head to the park in the southeast corner where your flashlight will reveal cult symbols in the satellite dish of the adjoining building, the ground next to the main flower bed, and the floor of the gazebo. But if you can't be bothered to do that, then look at the solution on screen. Just enter the symbols on the lock in the order they're shown on the list to open it. The last stash in Bright Falls can be found in the morgue under the police station during Return 6. Use the bolt cutters to open the door immediately to the right at the bottom of the stairs. There's a note taped to the box which has several shapes drawn on it. A line, a triangle with a slash through it, and a hexagon. The combination is the number of strokes used to draw each shape. That means that the code to open this is 146. So there's a guide on how to find all of the cult stashes in Bright Falls in Alan Wake 2. I've been Luke Gould, thanks for watching, and check out thegamer.com for more.